just thinking about this tea stuff and the experiences that go with it if you allow it to. You kind of make the best out of life with what you're given with. I mean, whatever life gives you, you make the best of it. And as I was thinking in my thinking chair, I was thinking that every cause has an effect. Isn't that interesting? Every cause has an effect. And every cause and effect needs a pause and reflect. And it kept burning it. It's funny. I'm like, what are we going to talk about tomorrow? Because, I have no idea. And I stay up thinking and like, we could talk about this, we could talk about that. But it's always ultimately up to God what he's going to say, what's going to be downloaded. So about 1 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and this kept coming up. Every cause and effect needs a pause and reflect. And so this is what I was thinking as I was sitting there thinking in my thinking chair, thinking about the things I was thinking about. We've experienced the tea ceremony. I mean, with all of the aspects of tea and how it touches the five senses. But I was thinking, there needs to be a reflection of what happens, because life-changing things can happen during your tea time because you're in a state of receiving, okay? Receiving from the tea master. And that tea master could be you if you're having tea by yourself, or if you're having tea with God like I do. And okay, I set everything up, but the messages through the tea or through the experiences, like the ambience, the things that I see. Well, let's think about the questions I just put up. During this tea time, what's being conveyed? What's the message? Okay? Because usually God is saying this. Let's talk about this. Let's see how you deal with this, or how you're dealing with this, because I'm taking everything to him. So what's being communicated? And what's the tea saying? This tea is different. I don't know why I chose a black tea today. I wanted something different. So I chose a black tea that has apple and cranberry. What's the tea saying? Why did I choose this one over that one? What do I see in this moment? I'm spending time alone with God, communicating, just sharing a cup of tea. What's being said during that time? What do I hear? The five senses have to be used. As I touch this cup, the history of the cup, the way I look at the cup. I mean, I don't know if you can see all these bumps and things, but what's the cup saying to me? How do I feel about that cup? How do I feel when I touch the cup? Is the cup warm? What does that make me feel? The way it smells. This has a strong apple scent to it. If you didn't know it was tea, you would think that it might even be apple juice, because it has a lot of apple in it. But how does that aroma make me feel? Or how does the aroma and the flavor paired together make me feel? So these are some reflective questions. Every sip and every thought will change something in you if you allow it to. And these thoughts and these changes that happen, they're exciting. Because there is a message in the Ichigo Ichie. Now, as I was thinking, I kind of got a full understanding of the butterfly effect, because my thoughts, the things that I receive when I'm communing with God, or if I'm just sitting here with me and you, the things that you might receive from me can change your trajectory of your life, because you might take something to heart and say, man, you know what? I can do this. And as you couldn't before. So the butterfly effect comes in. And you might ask, what's the butterfly effect? So the butterfly effect says this. And like I've said, for a long time, I'm like, what is this? What does this mean? I don't know. If you ever thought about it, sis, what the butterfly effect is, it says like this. Something as small as a butterfly, or the flutter of a butterfly's wings, can cause a typhoon halfway around the world. So as a butterfly is flying, that can cause like a hurricane, or they was saying typhoon, but hurricane halfway around the world, right? The force of that thing. And as I was thinking, I was like, man, the same thought, I saw it in my head as this: a drop of rain in the middle of the ocean can cause a tsunami when it reaches the shore. And this is your thought process. When you think of something, every thought that you have affects the future. Okay? So if you're going like this and you think a thought and you decide that you're going to act on that thought, that could take you higher. Or God gives you a plan and you're like, nah, God, that's a little bit too much. And as you're going like this, boom, your trajectory changes. And everything that you think about, it affects the rest of your life. Every step that you take towards something, either it's straight, left or right, or backwards, it affects the whole journey. Okay? If you turn around, you'll never reach your destination. If you go to the right, it's going to take you a lot longer than it would if you went straight forward. But sometimes, listening to God, He tells you, hey, you better turn right because there's a block here. There's a pitfall right here. You have to go around it. So every thought that you receive changes the trajectory of how you're going to get to where you're getting to. Okay. And just like the flutter of a butterfly, that might not do anything. But since it's changing everything in the future, it could cause a hurricane if you ignore it. Okay? Throwing a rock into a pond causes a ripple effect, right? And that ripple effect does not stop until it hits something. So it does this until it gets to the shore, and then it'll even start to come back. But the longer you dwell on something, the more meaning you can get out of it. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But if you're looking for the good, usually you'll find it. And on that note, if you're looking for the bad, usually you'll probably find it. So take the experience of this tea, okay? And as you sip and you receive, that's a cause and effect. And what you need is to pause and reflect. Okay, what is this thing saying to me? Why am I taking this time? You need to take the time to sit and think, because a lot of us we call sitting and thinking watching TV, which is not the same thing. Let your imagination and your spirit on the inside of you communicate to you. You know, we have a real big problem of not listening to what we, our spirit on the inside is like, hey, you belong to me. But the flesh is usually saying, hey, I'm in control. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat. I want to see this. I go see it. Even though there's consequences in everything that we do. And that's the same as the butterfly effect. So me deciding, hey, I'm not going to eat this. I'm going to eat this instead changes the trajectory of the rest of my life if I allow it to. If I think of it that way, I tend to do better. And the same as vice versa. If I eat this is going to hurt me for the rest of my life until I make changes. So the things that you receive during this time, you need to remember what I said yesterday, savor the flavor. This is, I'm closing church. This is how you savor the flavor, okay? Savor means to completely enjoy the moment of what you're doing by dwelling on every aspect of what's happening. So as we take these final sips, I'm almost done. I savor every moment. And this is what Itchy Go Itchy Yay is all about. I say it often. It's every moment. And every moment that we spend together, we learn from each other. If you allow it. When we use all 5 senses on the communication and we pause and reflect on it, we find meaning. And that's Ikigai, the meaning of life. So, and the reason for being. So, let's take that into consideration as we go throughout this day. Okay? Okay. Reflect, pause and reflect, okay? Kampai, it's good to see you this morning.